Attorney General Bill Barr expressed concerns to Fox News over mechanisms being used to track the virus.
Concerned about the slippery slope in terms of continuing encroachments on personal liberty.
So where is the line? Joining me now to discuss is Republican Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. He's also a gastroenterologist and has advocated for the government to set up national registries similar to those for childhood diseases. Senator, thank you for coming back. You noted here last week that a successful strategy combining herd immunity with social distancing for the vulnerable requires that the authorities know and record who is and isn't immune. So how would that work?
Yeah, so it actually builds upon current systems. We actually do not need to create anything different. There's a way to either check the nasal swab to see if someone's infected, or soon to be a blood test to see if someone has previously been infected. That establishes if you are immune. You put it in the existing registries we have, we all use. When my wife gets her chickenpox shot, it's entered into an online registry. It's HIPAA protected. You put that information in. Now the individual knows it. She or he can show it to their employer, say, hey, listen, I'm immune. I have a little bit more freedom to work where you wish me to work.
Dr. Fauci yesterday spoke of certificates of immunity. Let's watch.
It's one of those things that we talk about when we want to make sure that we know who the vulnerable people are and not. This is something that's being discussed. I think it might actually have some merit under certain circumstances.
So it sounds like he's on the same page. What then would be the mechanism for someone to obtain a so-called certificate of immunity?
Well, keep in mind, it's important to know who's not immune and who is immune. If you're a diabetic, hypertensive, who's 60 years old, you want to know if you're immune or not. If you're immune, most likely you have more freedom to go to the store without wearing a mask. But if you are not immune, by golly, you're going to wear a mask, you're going to wash your hands, and you're going to do everything to protect yourself. So if you just do broad testing, voluntary, but broad testing, and those who are immune know to protect themselves, those who are not immune know to protect themselves, and those who are immune can care for patients without wearing personal protective equipment, not fearing to be infected or to infect others, that's where we need to be.
Senator, what thoughts do you have on Google and Apple teaming up to develop a tracing mechanism like I described?
Yeah, it's voluntary, but it also allows somebody to protect themselves. Everybody's concerned about whatever. I'm concerned about not getting sick. If I want to voluntarily opt in, and then I can see, I've been exposed to somebody who might have been immune, that may change my behavior. Or if I can look and see, hey, go ahead.
No, please finish your answer.
And so I think that this actually is a mechanism by which the individual can assess their own risk, and that is what is important for an individual.
Yesterday, the president in his presser addressed the subject of herd immunity. Let's listen to a little of what he had to say.
If we did the herd, if we went with the herd, as they say, we would have had potentially, I mean, you see the charts. Nobody knows. Nobody will ever know, fortunately, because we're going to be substantially less than the minimum. I certainly hope, unless something happens that would be tragic.
Explain the science of herd immunity in lay terms and tell me, do we know if we're close to it?
Yeah, working backwards, we're probably not close to it yet. Herd immunity works this way. The virus goes out, each person infected infects 2 to 3 more, who then infect 2 to 3 more, who then infect 2 to 3 more. But if the virus goes out and I'm infected, and wait, this person is already immune, and that person is already immune, they block me, if you will, from infecting other people. The herd of people who are immune protect those who are not. Well-known factor. It varies from 40% of the population to 85%, somewhere in that range is where you get immunity, depending upon who is immune.
And it sounds like until we have widespread testing, we really can't know whether we've established that level.
That is totally true. Now, you can know on an individual level that perhaps I am immune or I am not, but for a community, you need to know widespread. Now, think about it. For travelers to come back to New York, they need to know that there's a certain level of immunity in New York. So really, to recover our economy, the individual needs to know whether she or he is immune or not. Then the society needs to know, because I'm not going to take a trip to a place which has lots of COVID unless I, one, know I'm immune, or at least have a sense that the person waiting on me is immune, or there's herd immunity in general. It's critical to returning to our normal economy.
Okay, final thought so that we can spare both of us a lot of hate mail. HIPAA remains in place for the registry that Senator Bill Cassidy is discussing.
Not only that, the registry already exists, and it is already HIPAA protected. So if you were born after the mid-90s, all of your vaccinations are already in it. When you go to college, you have a portal, you online, pull it down, give it to the college, they know you're vaccinated for measles. It already exists, and we're so comfortable with it that most people don't even know about it.
I think that probably spared 40% of the response, so thank you for that.
Thank you.